Hello students, today I will explain you addition of vectors. So first you have to know that addition of vectors is different from addition of scalars. Addition of vectors, vector quantities is different from scalar quantity. You know what is vector and what is scalar. Scalar are those which require only magnitude to define completely, while the vectors are those which require magnitude as well as direction also to define completely. Means they can be defined completely only when you mention the direction besides the magnitude. But in scalar quantities, there is no sense of direction. There is no sense of mentioning the direction. Their description requires only the magnitude. For example, if you take two scalar quantities, here mass I have taken and its two values I have taken 10 kg plus 50 kg. So it will be always 60 kg. It cannot be other than the 60 kg. It cannot be other than the 60 kg. But if you take two vector quantities, for example, I have taken two forces 10 Newton and 50 Newton, then they cannot be always 60 Newton. Only in one condition they will be the 60 Newton. They cannot be always 60 Newton. Means their magnitude cannot be always 60 Newton. It will also depend upon in what direction these vectors are acting. In what direction these vectors are acting. And you can tell here that if we apply these two forces in the same direction, here 10 Newton is acting, 50 Newton is acting, here 10 Newton force is acting in the same direction, we will say that on this body 60 Newton force is acting. Here the angle between their directions is 0 degree. But if they are acting in this way, you can see here, one is acting from one side, other is acting from other side in the opposite direction. If you see here this, then we will say that the net force acting upon it is only 40 Newton. And in what direction? In this direction. In the direction of the bigger force. Here net force is acting, it is equal to 50 plus 10, that is equals to 60 Newton. Now so in that case, what is the angle between the direction of both the forces? So angle between direction of both the forces is 180 degree, because they are acting oppositely. They are acting oppositely in the second diagram. In the first diagram, angle between the directions is 0 degree. Means the two vectors cannot be added like scalars. During their addition, we have to consider their direction also. It's clear? Means vectors are added with due consideration of their direction. Therefore, vectors are added with due consideration of their directions. It's clear? Means we can add two vectors, but during addition we will also consider their direction. Without considering their direction, we cannot find the magnitude. It's clear? Magnitude of the resultant vector. Now one more thing at the same time I want to tell you. Suppose there is any vector A whose magnitude is A, and another vector is B whose magnitude is B. Vector A is having magnitude is A, vector B is having magnitude as B. So what will be the maximum resultant? Maximum resultant means, when we say resultant means vector addition. Resultant means magnitude of addition of both the vectors. Addition of both vectors. So what is the maximum resultant which they can produce? It will be A plus B. Means the maximum resultant will be means what will be the on adding these two vectors, what we can get the maximum value of the resultant. So that will be A plus B. And what is the minimum resultant? Minimum resultant will be, it will be A difference B. A difference B means A minus B or B minus A. A minus B or B minus A. For example, in the same case, here one is of 50 Newton, other is of 10 Newton. So what is the maximum resultant which these two vectors can produce? That will be 60 Newton when they are acting in the same direction, when the angle between their direction is 0 degree. What is the minimum resultant which they can produce? Minimum resultant which they can produce will be the 40 Newton, and in which case, when their directions are opposite, angle between their directions is 180 degree. That's clear? Means you apply these vectors at any angle, their resultant will be in between 40 Newton to the 60 Newton. It will be in between 40 Newton to the 60 Newton. That's clear? Means if I ask that whether they can produce a resultant of 30 Newton, so no, they cannot produce. Whether they can produce the resultant of 70 Newton, no, they will produce the resultant only in that range. It's clear? Whatever be the angle between their directions, whatever be the angle between the directions of these forces, their resultant will be always in that range from 40 to 60. It's clear? So that we will remember, that we will come across afterwards. So I have told earlier to you, so you can know this. So maximum resultant which two vectors can produce, it will be equal to the sum of their magnitude. Minimum resultant which two vectors can produce, that will be equal to difference of their magnitudes. Now how will you add two vectors? So that I am going to explain. It means from here it is very clear that the vector addition is different from the addition of scalars. While we add vector, we also take into account their direction. Their resultant, their magnitude of their vector addition will depend upon the direction in which both the vector quantities are acting. Now see here, so how will you find the vector addition? How will you add two vectors geometrically? First I will tell you geometrical method. Adding two vectors geometrically. So see here, suppose here it is given vector A equals to 10 unit in the north direction, and vector B is given 8 unit in the west direction. It's clear? So first you take some scale, conversion factor. So I have taken, let 2 unit equals to 1 centimeter of scale. So this will be equals to 5 centimeter and this will be equals to 4 centimeter. When the directions are given in east, west, north, south, EW, NS, then these directions are absolute directions. These are the fixed directions. And already I have told, on the plane of paper, what will you take? This edge E, this edge W, this edge north and this edge south. So in order to add these two vectors, first you will draw one vector. Any one vector you can draw vector B and then you can draw vector A. So see here, I will tell you from both the ways. See here, I have taken this point and with this point, what is the north direction? North direction is this. This is the north direction. So you draw a vector of a line segment of 5 unit length. You can see here. With respect to this point, I have drawn a vector of, here you use another symbol PQ. Vector PQ is representing to the vector A in magnitude as well as in direction. Vector PQ is representing to the vector A in magnitude as well as in direction. What does it mean? Means the length of PQ is proportional to its magnitude and direction is along this. Now after drawing one vector, so how will you add two vectors? First you draw the first vector in the given direction. Then from the head of the first vector, what is the head? Head is the point Q. From the head of the first vector, you will draw the second vector in the given direction. From the head of the first vector, you will draw the second vector in the given direction. Means what is the first point? First draw first vector in given direction. In given direction. Whatever be the direction is given, you draw in that direction. Then from head of first vector, draw the second vector. So see here, with respect to the point Q, what is the west direction? So west direction is this. So I am trying here with respect to the point Q. What is the west direction? West direction is this. So here it will be equal to, you have to draw a line segment of 4 centimeter. This you can name as R. It's clear. This edge, or you take this point as S. So here vector QS is representing the vector B in magnitude as well as in direction. This is representing to the vector A, this is representing to the vector B. Its length is proportional to the magnitude of vector B and direction is in the direction of vector B. So what will be the resultant of these two vectors? So resultant can be obtained, resultant of both vectors. When we say resultant, then it means the vector sum of both the vectors. Resultant of both the vectors, vector A plus vector B, can be obtained by joining tail of first vector to head of second vector. Means how will you find the resultant? Resultant can be found by joining tail of first vector to the head of second vector. To the head of second vector. So you join here. So here this will represent the, what is tail? Tail is P. What is head of the second? It is Q. It is S, not Q. It is S. So what will be the resultant? Resultant will be this. This will be the resultant of these two vectors. Means what will you say? Here resultant is denoted by R. Vector R will be equal to vector A plus vector B. Means the resultant of these two vectors can be represented geometrically by vector PS. Can be represented geometrically by vector PS. Now what does it mean? What does it mean? It means vector PS, its length is proportional to the magnitude of the resultant. Its length is proportional to the magnitude of resultant, and its direction is along the direction of resultant. Now how will you find its magnitude? Magnitude of this vector means vector A plus vector B. I have told that whenever you have to find the magnitude, you put that vector inside these two vertical lines. This is the modulus of vector A plus vector B. Modulus of vector A plus vector B. That is the magnitude of resultant of vector A and vector B. So see here, how will you find it? You will measure this. So here, when you will measure, here I have found, here it comes out 13. So it means here it is 6.5, that is 13. Means it will be equal to 13 Newton. Here nearly it is equal to 13 Newton. This may not be the exact value because this is not exactly drawn on the scale. It is clear. So it is 13 Newton. How will you find the direction? So direction you have to express in EWNS. Now you can see here this direction is north and this direction is, what is this direction? If you see here, I am not making, this is the west direction, and this angle you measure with the help of the protractor. You measure this angle. It's clear. So what will be the direction? Direction will be at an angle theta. At an angle theta. From where? From north direction towards what? Towards the west direction. It's clear? At an angle theta from north towards west. Towards west. It's clear? And how will you write? In physics, this thing is written as theta degree west. Theta degree west from north. Theta degree west from north. In physics, this thing is written as this way. It's clear? Means theta degree is from where? In the previous lecture I have told, theta degree from the north. In what direction? In the west direction. It is clear? So it is representing the vector A plus vector B. It is clear? Now here it is not necessary to draw the vector A first. You can draw the vector B also first. First we will draw the vector B, and then from the head of the vector B we will draw the vector A. You can see here, I am showing it. First you draw the vector B. So as you know that with respect to this point, what is the west direction? So west direction is in this side. So it will be vector B. It is vector B. You can take this as xy. Vector xy is representing to the vector B in magnitude as well as in direction. It's clear? Now see here it is You make it little bit down. Yes, this. So this will be vector B. It is in the west direction. Now from head is what? Y. You draw the vector A. It is 5 centimeter length in what direction? North. So what is the north direction with respect to this point? It is this. So you draw. This is the Z. This is the vector A. So how will you find the resultant? By joining tail of first is vector B, its tail is this, to the head of last is vector B, vector A, head is Z. So what will be the resultant? By joining point X to the point Z, point X to the point Z. This will be the resultant. It is vector A plus vector B. What will be the magnitude? Once again, if you see here, it will be same. It is here 13. It is clear? It will come out 13 Newton. Here also it was coming 13 Newton. It is clear? It was coming 13 Newton. So in both cases it will come same. What is the direction? It is from X to Z. This arrow is very, very important. Without arrow, it will not be. Then how will you express the direction? Direction is always expressed from the first vector. Here this I am writing. Direction of resultant vector. Vector is always expressed from first vector. So now you will measure the direction of resultant vector with the help of protractor by this angle. It is clear? Here earlier it was measured from vector A, but now it will be measured from vector B. So what is this angle? So you will measure this angle. So how will you write? You can see here, this direction is west. From west direction, alpha angle towards what? If you see here, this direction is north. So we will write direction is alpha degree north of west. Alpha degree north of west means now angle has been measured from where? From west direction. Angle has been measured from the west direction towards the north. So this is the addition of two vectors when the directions are given in the EWNS form. EWNS means these are the absolute directions are given. Now see here, if suppose the absolute directions are not given, relative directions are given, that from the first vector it is making this angle. So we will adopt the same procedure. The procedure is same, but you always remember that angle is always measured in the anti-clockwise direction. Angle will be always measured in anti-clockwise direction. You can see here. Now from here one more thing you can see, whether you find out vector A plus vector B or you find out vector B plus vector A, you will find that both the vectors will have same magnitude and both will have the same direction. You have seen that both the resultant vectors were parallel. Both the resultant vectors were parallel. Means vector A plus vector B is equal to vector B plus vector A. Means vector addition is commutative. Vector addition is commutative. Now what does it mean commutative? In which there is no matter of order of occurrence, in which there is no matter of, no importance of order of occurrence. Vectors can occur in any order. It is clear? In which there is no importance of order of occurrence. It is clear? So vector addition is commutative. Now one more example of vector addition I will explain you. Now suppose here there is a vector A, I am taking the same case 10 unit, and vector B is of 8 unit, and instead of direction in absolute terms it is given that vector B is at an angle of 60 degree from vector A, So how will you do it? So now first you will draw the vector A. It's clear? Because the direction of vector B is given from vector A. It is given from vector A. So first we will draw the vector A. So you draw this. Procedure will remain same. Here I have drawn. Take any scale like the same way. Now I have taken 1 unit equals to 1 centimeter. So it will be equal to 10 centimeter line segment. It can be represented, and it can be represented by a line segment of 8 centimeter. I have taken the scale 1 unit equals to 1 centimeter. So see here, what will you do? First draw the first vector. This is the first vector, vector E. Then from the head of the first vector, from the head of the first vector, you draw the second vector making what angle? 60 degree angle from vector A direction. So see here, the direction of vector is this. It's clear? From which side you will measure the 60 degree. So not from this side, because this direction will be clockwise. This direction will be clockwise. You will measure the angle from this direction. It's clear? This is the anti-clockwise direction. So from this direction you will measure the angle. And how much angle? 60 degree. And in that direction you draw the line segment of how much unit? How much length? Here, this 8 centimeter length I have drawn. This angle is 60 degree. This is the vector B. This point you can take Z. Now what will be the resultant? Already I have told, by joining tail of first vector to the head of last. Joining tail of first to the head of last. So what will be the resultant? You can see here, it can be obtained by joining point X to the point Z. This, it's clear. This will be equal to vector A plus vector B. This is the vector A plus vector B. This will be the resultant, that you can write vector R. It's clear. Now how will you measure its magnitude? So magnitude can be measured by measuring this length. It's clear. And then converting according to the scale. Here it comes nearly 15 centimeter. So already I have taken here 1 unit equals to 1 centimeter. Therefore, this is comes out nearly 15 centimeter. Therefore, magnitude will be what? Magnitude of resultant vector will be nearly 15 unit. It may be something less or more than 15 unit, because I have not measured the angle correctly. It's clear. What will be the direction? Direction is always expressed from the first vector. So you measure this angle. And what is the direction of vector R? direction of vector r, it will be equal to at an angle theta from vector A, at an angle theta from vector A. It's clear. This angle is measured in what direction? In anti-clockwise direction. You can see here. It's clear. So this way also we can add two vectors. Now suppose you have to add more than two vectors. Then what will you do? How will you add more than two vectors? Suppose we have to add more than two vectors. So the same technique we will apply in adding more than two vectors. What will you do? From the first you draw the first vector in the given direction, whatever be the direction, you draw in that direction. It's clear that you will draw. Then from the head of the first vector you draw the second vector. Suppose the second vector is in this direction. Then from the head of the second vector draw the third vector. So I have drawn here, it is in this direction, it was in this direction, so I have drawn this way. It is clear. Then from head of the third vector you draw the fourth vector. Here fourth vector is in this direction, so I have drawn here. It is. So what will be the resultant of all these vectors? Resultant of all these vectors, vector A plus vector B plus vector C plus vector D. How will you find out it? So the same thing, as already I have told, you have to apply the same technique. First you will draw the first vector. From head of the first vector draw the second vector in the given direction. Whatever be the direction given, you draw in that direction. Then from second vector, head of the second vector, draw the third vector. From head of the third vector, draw the fourth vector. What will be the resultant of all these? It can be obtained by joining tail of first to the head of last. What is the tail of first? This point. What is the head of last? This point. What will be the resultant? Resultant will be this. This will be the resultant of these four vectors. It's clear. Means by measuring their length, we will get the magnitude of the resultant, measuring their length and converting according to the given scale, the scale which you have measured in drawing the lengths, line segments of these vectors. And then by measuring this angle, you can tell the direction. It is clear. So this is the way of adding more than two vectors. It is clear. Now see here. So this is the addition of more than two vectors. Now after this, there is one analytical method of vector addition. Analytical method of vector addition. So that also you can see. What is the analytical method? Just now I have told you geometrical method of vector addition. Now I am going to tell you one mathematical method of vector addition, in which there is no need to draw the diagram. If the magnitude of both the vectors is given and angle between them is given, then you can find the resultant. It is clear. So this is the analytical method of vector addition, two vectors. Analytical means mathematical method. It is clear. Without using any type of drawing. It is clear. So analytical method of addition of two vectors. And its derivation is very important in from point of view of your examination. Now let's see here. There are two vectors, vector A and vector B, acting at an angle theta from each other. There are two vectors, vector A and vector B, acting at an angle theta. Let the resultant means vector addition of these two vectors is given by vector R. So see here, if we draw a rough diagram, then it will be something like this. You can see here. This is the vector A. This is the vector B. Vector A is this and vector B is this. This you can represent X, Y, Z. What will be the resultant of these two vectors? So just now I have told it can be obtained by joining tail of first to the head of last. When you join the tail of first vector to the head of last vector, you will get the resultant. So it will be this. This is representing the resultant, means vector R, which is equal to vector A plus vector B. Now see here, where is the angle theta? So angle theta will be equal to this. Already I have told it will be measured in what direction? It is measured angle is measured in anti-clockwise direction. So this angle is theta. This angle is theta. It's clear. Now here I have assumed let resultant vector R makes an angle alpha from the vector A. This angle is alpha. Let vector R makes an angle alpha. Angle alpha from vector A. From vector A it makes an angle alpha. Now what will you do? You do one construction. From point Z you draw a perpendicular over the dotted line. This I have named as M. This is named as M. Now you can see here this. From Z, draw perpendicular on produced part of XY. Say ZM, means this perpendicular has been named as ZM. It is clear. Now here magnitude of vector A is A, magnitude of vector B is B, and magnitude of vector R is R. Means this is vector A, magnitude of vector A is A, magnitude of vector B is B, and magnitude of vector R I have taken as R. So see here, first you see in the triangle ZMY. What is its length? Its length is YZ is B. It's clear. You find out MY and MZ in terms of B. So in right angle triangle ZMY, what will be sine theta? Sine theta is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. What is perpendicular? ZM. What is hypotenuse? It is YZ. And YZ already you have taken, its length is equal to B. Its length is equal to B. So it will be equal to ZM upon B. So what you can write? ZM equals to B sine theta. Then similarly cos theta. When you take the cos theta, what will be the value of cos theta? Cos theta will be equals to base upon hypotenuse. Base upon hypotenuse, that is ym upon yz. That is ym upon yz is b. So what will be ym? You can see here ym equals to b cos theta. It will be equal to b cos theta. It's clear. Means here you have got Zm equals to b sin theta. This is b sin theta. I am writing here b sin theta. And it is b cos theta. What is this length from x to y? It is a, and from x to z it is r. Now see here, in right angle triangle ZMX, in right angle triangle ZMX, angle triangle ZMX from Pythagoras theorem. So first you see the triangle ZMX. You have seen this triangle ZMX. I am showing you. This is ZMX. It's clear. When you will apply the Pythagoras theorem, what will you get? So you will get xz square equals to zm square plus xm square. It's clear. Xz square you will get equals to zm square plus xm square. Now you can see here what will be xm. Xm can be written as xy, which is equal to a, ym, which is equal to b cos theta. So xm equals to xy plus ym. Xy is what? A plus b cos theta. Others you already know. Xz is equal to r and Zm equals to, already you have found, b sin theta. So you write down r square equals to Zm. Zm is b sin theta, that is b sin theta whole square plus a plus b cos theta whole square. Now you open the bracket. On opening the bracket, what will be? B square sin square theta. This can be written as opened by a plus b whole square. A plus b whole square, that is a square plus b cos theta whole square plus 2 into a into b cos theta. When you will simplify, on simplifying, it will be r square equals to b square sin square theta plus a square. On opening this, b square cos square theta plus 2ab cos theta. It's clear. Now we will rearrange the terms. We will rearrange the terms. So you can see here I am writing in this side. On rearranging the terms, first you write down a square. Then you write down the terms containing b square together. B square sin square theta plus b square cos square theta plus 2ab cos theta. So see here, it is a square. When you will take out b square common, sin square theta plus cos square theta plus 2ab cos theta. What is sin square theta plus cos square theta? Equals to 1. So r square equals to a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. It's clear. So what will be r? that is a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So by this formula you can find the resultant of magnitude of resultant vector. Magnitude of resultant vector. Then how will you find this angle? So this angle you see here in triangle ZMX. In triangle ZMX, tan alpha will be equal to perpendicular upon base. What is perpendicular? ZM. And what is base? It is equal to XM. And XM already you have written here this as A plus B cos theta. It's clear. So this you can write ZM is how much? B sin theta. XM is A plus B cos theta. So what will be tan alpha? B sin theta upon A plus B cos theta. This way you can find out the direction of resultant. Means suppose if it is given that vector A, its magnitude is 10 unit, vector B, its magnitude is equal to 8 unit, and angle between both the vectors is given 60 degree. Then without drawing any diagram, you can get the magnitude of the resultant. A square plus B square plus 2ab cos theta. Theta is the angle between both the vectors. And by using this formula, you can get the direction of resultant from vector A. Direction of resultant from vector A. It's clear? So in this lecture, we will do only up to here. In the next lecture, I will take some more things in the vector addition. So, thank you.